I'm so sorry. My daughter loved social media, and I'm a hairdresser, so she would like for me to tell her about the fashion shows where I used to work for, and I got the privilege to work for Univision and Telemundo, and she had told me she wanted to be on TV because she wanted to be viral all the time. And this is not the way I wanted my baby to be viral. So sorry, guys. This just broke me down. I apologize.
Is there anything you want to tell the community in regards to what happened and what's going on right now, and maybe some of your feelings as to the man that was captured for killing your daughter?
Can you step up to the mic?
Yeah, please.
So, is he out or not?
He's out, Jay.
So, my first question is, why is this person out? That is, as a dad, seeing my wife, I've been up since 3 in the morning. She has not stopped crying since 3 in the morning. I know I don't show it. I'm trying to be a little bit harder. But my question is, this person is out. I try to ask and confirm, why is this person out on bond? My daughter's not here. How are these things possible? I just don't get it. You know, how long does it take for you to update a status? You know, this happened yesterday. It took 2 days, and then now he's out. You know, those are some of the questions that I have for whoever's in charge of this. But we're gonna find out, and we're gonna put our foot down, and we want justice for Arlene. We greatly appreciate that we do know who it is, and we're gonna have justice.
And just tell them that, just so we can just take it right out of the equation, that this is not a self-defense case. So just please tell the community at large, how close was this man from your truck when he sprayed the truck right through with that pistol? This
was not a self-defense. To an extent, it's not a self-defense. Like I told my lawyer, I guarantee this person don't even have I can't even say it. He probably don't even have an account there at Chase. I don't know. But the person was already away, at least 100 foot away from you when he was spraying.
He could have just stopped.
He shot the guy, towards the guy 4 times. That is when I try to shout, you know, to my kids and my family to get down. Because as a dad, we don't know whether we're doing the right thing or not. I told everybody to get down, and Arlene's the only one that didn't get down. She had her headphones in.
We were like, duck down, Arlene. Then I didn't scream loud enough. I didn't know she had her earphones on.
That's when we sped forward. Literally, he was probably about 10 feet away from my vehicle and still continued to spray the vehicle. One shot the gas tank. One probably was more, I don't know. But I know the other one was where it hit my daughter in the head. She did go down immediately, and I seen it. I immediately stopped, pulled her out the vehicle. It is not something that I don't get, man. I hope nobody ever goes through this.
Nobody has experience for this type of stuff. I didn't know what to do either. I didn't even know how to call 911 whenever that's like the easiest thing that you could do. To see my daughter, they took us to the ambulance. The moment they told me that they couldn't do nothing about it, I didn't want to let her go. They told me, ma'am, I'm so sorry, but she's brain dead. And I was like, I want to have her with me. And then they just had her in the machine, but they told me there's nothing we could do. She's already dead. She's not going to make it. I was like, do her something, please. I want a miracle. I want a testimony on my baby. And it wasn't like that. That was not the case. My baby, she was a warrior. But this case, she did not. She didn't battle it right. My baby left. I'm sorry for my language. My daughter. Oh, no.
We want everybody to know who she was. I mean, she was a fourth grader. She was an old soul. Took care of her siblings, which were in the vehicle at the time of the shooting as well, including a baby. She got along with everyone. She loved to make TikTok videos. She was as happy as could be. She enjoyed eating whatever her dad ordered at dinner. If he ordered a steak, she wanted a steak. And, you know, she was just an enjoyable little person that just absolutely just loved life. And probably the person that may feel the worst in here is probably her dad, because his job was to protect his family. He worked all the time to give him a better life, and you know, he feel like somehow, you know, he could have maybe stopped it, prevented it somehow, and you know, that weighs, you know, heavy on him, and he's trying to be strong for the whole family, but it's a big burden. And you know, at this point in time, our prayers are really with this family as they try to grieve and get through this process. But this is not the first time that this has happened at that infamous address of 2900 Woodridge. So, you know, within 5 months, we have another senseless killing at an ATM machine at the same address. And we have to start asking questions of why are there not an off-duty police officer there? Why is not a personal security guard there? Why don't they hire private contractors? Why is the ATM still operating after hours on a premises that is full of crime after crime after crime after crime? And this is all pursuant to the data from the Houston Police Department. You can look it up on an open records request we did in the call logs. So this was a sequence of events that took place directly correlated to 2900 Woodridge. And, you know, this family ended up losing the most precious thing that they have. It's just one of their children who's a beautiful kid and a senseless killing.
Only thing we want to know, again, why is he out? Now I gotta leave here and paperwork from funeral arrangements, and now he's out, sleeping in his bed, peacefully. Look at my wife. I haven't been able to sleep because of her. Not being selfish, but just it also hurts me. But I just try to be strong for them. But like I said, we just want to know why is he out. That's the main concern right now, and I'm gonna push as much as I can, get those answers, and figure out what are we gonna do about this. And all these gun killing.
My daughter was known to love babies. She was a caretaker, and if she would see a baby, she would carry the baby. I had a little hair salon, and I would allow my customers to bring their babies in, and my daughter would take care of them as long as they got their mommy time, because a lot of mommies don't have babysitters, so it was okay in our shop. We let that happen. And it's just, I know Arlene, she's fighting right now for justice for all these kids that are getting killed, innocent adults too. I mean, everybody in general. And my daughter had a connection with everybody, and maybe this had to happen to my daughter so the word could be out, and this needs to be changed. I just want justice for my baby, and people need to stop having road rage. They need to stop having all this anger towards them and start shooting like crazy, because there's a lot of innocent little babies. This year she was so excited to turn 10, and we're preparing to take her photo shoot, her gowns, and I was preparing to order that, and now I'm getting ready for all her funerals. I don't even know what to choose. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, was not prepared for none of this. It just hurts me so much. It's just gonna hurt me forever. But I just want justice for my baby girl. My baby girl, she was a fighter. I know.
Is there any other questions from anyone else for this family? They're grieving right now, so we just want to make things somewhat brief, please.
Any questions?
Could you get some words in Spanish?
let's talk in Spanish. What is the question as far as Spanish?
Di lo que estás sintiendo y lo que querías decir.
Quiero pedir disculpas que no tengo, la verdad no puedo ver a las cámaras, no puedo ver a nadie en los ojos porque es un dolor inevitable. Es algo que yo miraba en las noticias, yo me gustaba compartir y nunca pensé que era algo que yo iba a pasar por esa experiencia. Este es un dolor que no se lo deseo a nadie. Mi niña era mi todo, mi mejor amiga. Yo no tenía amigas por dedicarme a mis hijos, a mi trabajo, a mi esposo. Y me duele mucho y yo quiero que se haga justicia y no es justo que lo dejen salir como si nada. Mi niña, esto no fue cosa de Dios, no fue cosa del destino. Me la arrebataron por un enojo y rabia que tenía porque él estaba disparando incontrolablemente. No estaba en control y es algo que lo tengo grabado. Llegué a la casa y al oler su ropa, donde dejó sus cosas favoritas. Mi niña tiene su bisabuelita, le gustaba tejer, ella se conectaba con cualquier persona que ella amaba. Yo puedo hablar infinito de mi niña porque era mi todo, ¿sí me entiendes? Yo ya tenía mi niña, mis dos niños, mi bebé, mi niño. Ella ya era mi reina, ya no ocupaba nada. Me quitó mi bebé, mi reina. Ay, no, es un dolor que no se lo deseo a nadie. Más quiero justicia para Arlene y todos los niños y muchas víctimas que están en la calle no se merecen esto. Yo creo, ¿tú ves? ¿Tu papá? ¿Quieres decir algo?
Thank you, Alfred.
Hago una pregunta en español desde la parte legal, ¿qué es lo que van a actuar ahora mismo? ¿De qué forma van a actuar?
La parte legal en estos momentos es la investigación de la policía verdaderamente a lo que pasó. Lo que vemos es que no fue un acto de defensa propia en lo que pasó. Lo que pasó es que tuvo una persona que el momento donde cogió su pistola y empezó a disparar la pistola, que ya no estaba esa persona en una posición donde le iban a hacer un daño físico o un daño a su propiedad. En ese momento ya la espalda de la persona que lo había robado estaba puesta a uno, estaba corriendo del lugar, en ese momento estaba tratando de escaparse después del robo. Entonces cuando uno agarra la pistola en ese momento, pues ya pierde el derecho de defenderse a su persona, porque en ese momento ya no está la situación o la posición donde algo te va a pasar físicamente, porque se ha removido verdaderamente de donde estaba la persona que cometió el robo. Cuando uno saca la pistola y empieza a disparar después de eso, entonces pues estás disparando a personas, como en este caso, que estaban manejando el camión del papá, estaban yendo por donde estaban supuestos a estar yendo, y entonces sale una persona con una pistola, mira al camión del señor con su familia y verdaderamente empieza a disparar directamente al camión, 10 pies del camión, y no una vez, pero vez después de vez, después de vez, después de vez, hasta que le mataron la niña. So, en ese momento el intento de matar a otra persona está presente, por eso es un asesino, y así está el caso.
Could you repeat in English about why you say this is not a self-defense case, please?
It's not a self-defense case on the basis of the facts surrounding the case. The circumstances are, once you go ahead and you commit a robbery and you take your gun and you hold somebody out at gunpoint, once you take your gun and you run off, you have your back turned to the individual you just robbed. At that point in time, the individual that was robbed is no longer in immediate threat or fear of their imminent safety. So now at that point in time, okay, you lose your right to self-defense because you don't have that threat anymore. It's now removed. the greater the distance between the two individuals, the less of a matter of law you can actually use that defense, because again, you're not under the threat. If that person is not firing back and now they're running away from you, you take out your pistol and you give chase. At that point in time, you become the aggressor. At that point in time, a set of circumstances went ahead and began, which was dad then driving down the road as a civilian with his family. This man took it upon himself to say, oh, they must be involved in a robbery, okay, when they weren't. Then went ahead and approached his truck 10 feet away, and then intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly took his pistol, aimed it at the truck, and fired shot after shot after shot after shot, going inside the actual truck. They had a baby in the truck who could have been killed. The siblings could have been killed. Mom could have been killed. He could have been killed. But, you know, they took away a precious little girl, 9 years old, that was killed as a direct consequence of an individual that was no longer in threat of imminent fear for his life or his safety, and took it upon himself to go ahead and kill somebody. It's murder.
I know
That's
it's
it.
very early. Are you considering legal action against Chase or anyone else?
Chase Bank is, yes. And the reason is, Chase Bank, the sequence of events that began this tragedy for this family started at 2900 Woodridge ATM location. How did it start? We have somebody walking up with a hoodie to another individual with a gun. It sounds familiar because that's what happened with Mary Jane back in October. Same location, same ATM machine. Hoodie on, walked over to her with a pistol, shot and killed her. In this case, now it's a robbery, but it turns into a shootout. In Mary Jane's case, there was also a shootout because there was an off-duty police officer that ran to the scene at that time to render aid to her, and actually saw this criminal that had just killed her running off with a pistol, and there was an exchange of light gunfire. So this is not the first time they actually had a shootout on this premises. And you figure there will be a lesson learned from what happened with Mary Jane. Maybe they would put an off-duty police officer after hours. Maybe they would hire a private company that's adequately trained to provide private security on the premises to at least have at least a visual of a physical presence and authority being there, maybe to deter criminal activity or behavior, which transpired at this particular branch almost on a daily basis. If you look at the call logs, you have a car stolen from there just about every other day. You have drugs, narcotic dealing going on almost routinely. You have assaults, aggravated assaults. You had a robbery on August the 2nd of last year. You had a robbery on September 23rd of last year. You have a robbery that turns into a murder, which is completely foreseeable the way that's going, in October when Mary Jane was killed. And then 5 months later, you have a robbery that turns into another murder, because this is the premises and this is what it breeds, because they have done zero to prevent this from happening. The proper measures are not in place for obvious reasons, or else the criminal would not continue to habitually visit this establishment or the premises and feel like they have to commit violent crimes. So, I mean, statistically, it is what it is. And if your bank happens to be in an area where maybe there's more crime than others, then it is your duty and your responsibility that if you have your customers coming on and using your 24 hours ATM machine that you're making money off of, to at least do something to protect them. Maybe have it in a glass. Maybe don't offer the service if you can't protect it. Maybe have an off-duty police officer.
Turn it off.
Turn it off. Million things you could do. But you don't continue to offer the service knowing that a crime is going to happen that would lead to someone losing their life, because it has happened before. And this is not an incident that happened that's remotely removed. It's 5 months. And the sequence of events in the last 24 months are outrageous for any premises in this city. So that's the reason why, Chase Bank needs to be accountable for what happened in the chain of sequence of events that began on their premises again.
¿Tendrán un mensaje para el juez que está a cargo de este caso?
What is that?
Un mensaje para el juez que está a cargo.
Again, otra vez, you want to answer that for me?
Queremos justicia.
But why is, she wants that.
¿Sí, qué le dirías al juez que le ha otorgado esta fianza?
Que no le diría. Quisiera decirle que me devolviera a mi niña, pero es algo que no le puedo pedir. Pero yo quisiera que le den su castigo que se merece. Porque no, esto no tenemos que pasar.
No tiene ninguna razón que él está afuera ahorita. Si es la razón. Si es verdad, no hay razón porque él esté afuera ahorita.
It is obvious that this man este hombre es responsable por matar a una niña de 9 años. Este hombre ahora en la comunidad es un riesgo al resto de la comunidad. Ya mató a una niña, la mató con una pistola. Tuvo una pistola y disparó al camión de un papá que estaba con su familia. En este momento, dejar a esta persona que verdaderamente es un animal caminando por aquí, en estos momentos, no creo, y la familia no cree que eso es una buena idea para la comunidad, que un juez deje a alguien ir por lo que pasó y lo que pasó con la niña. Verdaderamente, el dolor que ellos sienten, quieren ellos que este hombre que mató a la niña lo sienta igualmente.
And Mr. Alvarez, I'm sorry, just if one more time in English, if you could give your message to Earls and the judge.
I don't have no message to that person. The only message I have to the judge again, why is he out? He's probably sleeping much better than my daughter and my wife. It's not fair. I can sleep. I'm a man. I'm not going to let another man that took my daughter's life sleep well. I'm going to put my foot down. I will make sure everything is done right. And that's the person I am. That's how we are. That's why I have all my family here. That's how we are. As a family, we're going to put our foot down. And we're going to get answers.
Mr. Alvarez, I don't know if you can share just any fond memories of your daughter for us, like anything that comes to your mind, like that you really
Memories.
that gives you comfort right now.
There's a lot. It's a lot of memories. It's gonna break my wife here. You guys want to hear all that? It's up to you guys. You want to tell them your memories?
Papá, ¿quieres compartir recuerdos con Arlene? ¿Quieres saber?
Leslie?
Let my dad talk.
Oh, sorry.
We used to open a lot of toys alive.
Like we do.
We would always play. We would have so much fun. Since we were little, like.
We grew up together.
She liked to do nails. She loved to do nails with Adeline. Always riding her scooter throughout Grandpa and Grandma's driveway. She's super talented for sure. She liked to be on camera all the time. Facebook Lives. TikTok. Anything what your 9-year-olds are doing right now. That's what she likes to do. So I'm pretty sure y'all can relate to that. A lot of parents out there can relate right now. My question also is to why are these guns landing on the hands of irresponsible people? Of most of us here, we had the proper training. We have a license to carry. We understood. That's the reason why we understand right now that this was not self-defense, because it wasn't. Just how our lawyer here just stated right now. You know, that self-defense was away from you whenever. You know, whoever robbed you, you know, okay, I'm shook. You know, I'm not going to think like, oh, let me grab my gun and just start shooting. I'm not going to start doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to panic inside, call 911, something. You're not just going to go open fire. Like, where do you think your bullets are going? You know, there's so much activity going on. You know, he's responsible. As we also need to get an update on also the robber. he's also responsible too. You know, because he robbed this ATM or person. This person took it to another level as well. Everybody needs to be held accountable. And Arlene has all of us here. We're a very united family, so we're gonna come after everybody.
What's your name,
What's
please?
your name?
My name is Abigail Alvarez Solis.
What's your relation?
I am Arlene Alvarez's aunt.
Can you spell Solis for us?
Solis is S-O-L-I-S.
Is she your sister or how?
I'm Armando
She's my sister.
Alvarez's sister. Yeah.
What do you think of your brother? How would you describe him and his wife?
Well, right now, I think my brother, he's being very strong. I admire him for that. He's trying to keep it together for his family, for Wendy, for the kids. We're not. This is just a tragedy for all of us, and we need to have justice for Arlene.
¿Podría preguntar acerca del peluche que tiene?
Ay. Me le grabaron su último palpitaciones del corazón. Lo estamos arreglando porque queríamos comprarle su última muñeca y ese es el último muñeco que me dejó. As I was preparing for my daughter's 15, we wanted to get ahead. We gotta start planning since right now, because that's me. I've always liked to plan ahead. And our tradition is to get her last doll, get her dressed up, the same dress. And instead I got left with this teddy bear with her last heartbeat. And, oh no, it's just, the hospital was being super good. They gave us her last hand paintings. It's just, this is her right now. This is my baby. This is what I got. This is my Arlene now. Y este es el osito, es mi niña. Sus últimas palpitaciones antes de que me la desconectaran. I'm sorry. I don't. No.
Can we get her name?
What's your name?
My name is Leslie Castellanos.
Can you spell Leslie and Castellanos, please?
My Leslie is spelled Leslie, and my last name is Castellanos.
Thank you.
My son, his name is Armando. And he's another warrior.
He also saw everything.
He saw everything. My son, he's speech delayed. And my daughter would do everything for him, right, Daddy?
Yeah.
And now he's advanced so much. And my son saw everything. But she's our little angel, right, Gordo?
Yeah.
You're gonna miss Gortis?
Yeah.
So good.
Okay.
So good.
Anything else?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez would like to give his condolences.